What a beautiful morning it was yesterday. It's going to be cooler today. Look at that. The low fog and clouds just settled in over the entire valley. Looks like an ocean out there. You'd never know how many millions of people are living underneath that mass. But our job was not a fun one. It was a hillside job, and that's the tree way up there. The client is very concerned that the tree is leaning significantly. So I wanted to show you this. I'm sorry this is going to be kind of a little bit of a run out. We had 70 stairs to get up and down to deal with this. So we decided there's got to be a better way. And I got to say that our controlled speed line for this job worked out magnificently. So you ask, what's the difference between a regular speed line and a controlled speed line? Well, I'm going to show you. What we did was Jorge set one end of the rope up in the tree with the best angle we could to avoid hitting the trees down below it. We had a Japanese maple right below us that they didn't want us to break, and there was a plum and a few other things. So getting the brush by all this stuff without causing additional damage was a challenge. So what I did is with my APTA, the air-powered throw ball gun that we have here, I put a rope up there. It took me 2 shots. I put a rope up over a crotch way up high, and then I attached our secondary line to it with a pulley. And I put the speed line rope through the pulley, and then I used the secondary line to make an adjustment up in the tree so that the angle was a long downward run. But I had to continually keep adjusting it to get the right angle. That's what I mean by the controlled. So I'm hanging on to the other side of the speed line rope that's going through the pulley and pulling up and down so that I'm actually controlling the way the brush and the wood is coming down. Sometimes I had to pull it real tight, sometimes I had to leave it a little bit loose, but it was varied. Some of the shots didn't work out quite as good as others, but I'm going to let you guys just watch this and see what I mean by how the control was. We had a fence to deal with right there, so I'd let it come down, then I'd pull up, and sometimes I had to, depending upon how long the brush was, I had to jump it up and over, and I was able to do that via the pulley and hanging on to the speed line. It was also a very difficult place to chip. I'm right on the road, and there's a bend, and it's a one-lane road, so we had traffic coming down. So I was stockpiling all the brush on the hillside before I brought the truck and chipper down there. You see how I'm kind of bouncing it up and down? It wasn't possible for me to just pull it tight and let it zip all the way down. I was able to do that with some of the smaller pieces and some of the smaller wood, but because of the length of the branches, it was challenging. But the alternative was to carry everything up and down the stairs. As it was, I must have gone up and down those stairs 25 times during the day.
Better, still a little bit shy. Not bad at all. That one worked way better.
Now, in doing this, it's very important that the communication between both people understands how big a cut we can handle. Now, if we make a cut that's too big and too heavy, then it pulls you because you've got a pulley and you can no longer make the adjustments to go up and down. There was a couple of cuts that Jorge did that was just too heavy on me, and it was everything I could do, and it was getting hung up and everything was not going. And when we finally got to a point where we were able to realize that, okay, this is an appropriate size, then it started going really smooth. So I did have to go up and down a couple times to bring him all the straps. So I did set the camera down to show what I'm doing here. Hopefully this explains it a little bit better, but I had to position myself so that A, I wouldn't get hit by the wood as it came flying down, but I also had to be able to see exactly where the brush was and what Jorge was doing, and also jump out of the way before I got smacked in the face by one of these things that was flying down the hill.
Okay. I'm playing dodge for these things. They come down here.
That squeaking that you hear is the pulley. So the second part of this job was there was a house utility wire, the hot wire that comes into the house went through the trees in this little canyon down here. And I was able to go down there with the throw bag gun, again, the APTA, and place a rope way up high. And we were just cutting and cutting and dragging down this canyon. Nothing too exciting, but a lot of work. Hey, thanks so much for watching. I really appreciate every comment, and be safe out there, would you?